in the heart of the sprawling Redwood National Park, where ancient trees whisper secrets to the wind, lived a park ranger named Elias Vance. Elias wasn't your typical ranger. While his colleagues saw the forest as a collection of flora and fauna to be catalogued and managed, Elias saw it as a living, breathing entity, full of mystery and wonder. He had spent 30 years patrolling these woods, and he knew every stream, every hidden grove, and the rhythm of the forest's heartbeat. He'd seen things that defied easy explanation, flickering lights in the dead of night. Sounds that didn't belong to any known animal, but he kept these observations to himself, filed away in the vast library of his mind. One crisp autumn morning, as golden light filtered through the canopy, Elias was on his usual patrol along the park's less-traveled northern boundary. This area was notorious for old, forgotten fences left behind by ranchers from a century ago, their barbed wire now rusted and tangled in the undergrowth. As he navigated a particularly dense thicket, a sound cut through the morning calm. It was a whimper, a high-pitched cry of distress that was both animalistic and strangely human. It was a sound of pure panic and pain. Elias's senses went on high alert. His first thought was a trapped bear cub or a fawn. He moved cautiously, his hand resting on the tranquilizer gun he rarely used. The whimpering grew louder, more frantic. He pushed aside a large fern and froze. There, caught in a snarl of rusty barbed wire, was a creature unlike anything he had ever seen. It was small, maybe the size of a human toddler, and covered in thick, shaggy brown fur. Its face, however, was astonishingly expressive, with large, dark eyes, wide with terror and glistening with tears. It struggled weakly, its small hands, so much like a child's, tangled in the wire that had snagged its leg. Elias's breath caught in his throat. Every local legend, every whispered campfire story, every blurry photograph, it all rushed back to him. He was looking at a baby, Bigfoot. His training screamed at him to call it in, to report a potential new species, to follow protocol. His heart, however, told him something different. This wasn't a specimen to be captured. It was a terrified child. The little creature looked at him, its whimpers subsiding into a quiet, fearful sob. In that moment, a bond was formed, a silent understanding between two beings of the forest. Elias knew what he had to do, and it had nothing to do with protocol. His next move would defy his job, his training, and everything he was supposed to do. Slowly, Elias holstered his tranquilizer gun and raised his empty hands to show he meant no harm. "Easy there, little fella," he whispered, his voice calm and soothing. "I'm not going to hurt you. I'm here to help." The creature watched him, its intelligent eyes tracking his every move. It knelt down, pulling a pair of wire cutters and a first aid kit from his pack. Each snip of the rusty wire was done with surgical precision. The creature flinched but didn't struggle, as if it understood he was trying to free it. Finally, with one last cut, the leg came loose. A deep gash was visible on its furry calf, bleeding sluggishly. Elias opened his first aid kit. He cleaned the wound gently with an antiseptic wipe, earning a soft whine from the little one. I know. It stings," he murmured, "but we've got to get it clean." He then applied a healing salve and wrapped the leg with a clean bandage. Throughout the process, the baby Bigfoot remained remarkably still, its large, soulful eyes never leaving his face. It was an act of incredible trust, a wild creature allowing a human to tend to its wounds. When he was done, Elias sat back on his heels, a sense of awe washing over him. The little one tested its bandaged leg, then looked back at him. A soft, low coo emanating from its chest, a sound that felt like gratitude. Just as Elias was wondering what to do next, a deep, earth-shaking sound echoed from the trees nearby. It was a low-frequency call, a resonant hoot that vibrated in his chest. The baby Bigfoot immediately answered with a series of excited chirps and coos. It looked from Elias to the direction of the sound, then back again. It was clear. Its parent was calling. A massive, shadowy figure moved at the edge of the clearing, just beyond the tree line. It was at least 8 feet tall, a silhouette of immense power. Fear, cold and primal, trickled down Elias's spine. He was completely exposed. But then, the large figure stepped partially into the light. It was an adult Bigfoot, its fur the same rich brown as the baby's. Its eyes, ancient and wise, were fixed on Elias. There was no menace in its gaze, only a profound, searching intelligence. It looked at its child, saw the clean bandage, then looked back at the human who had helped. The giant creature raised a massive hand, not in a threat, but in a gesture that seemed to be one of acknowledgement, of thanks. Elias could only stare, speechless. The baby Bigfoot hobbled over to its parent, turning one last time to look at Elias. It let out one final, soft coo before disappearing into the dense forest with the larger creature. The woods fell silent once more, as if nothing had ever happened. Elias remained kneeling for a long time, the weight of the encounter settling upon him. He had just experienced something that would change his life forever. He looked at the discarded pieces of barbed wire and the small, bloody patch on the ground. Proof. He could have called it in. Became Famos changed the course of science, but as he stood up and shouldered his pack, he knew he wouldn't say a word. The secret wasn't his to tell. It belonged to the forest and its ancient, hidden children. He had been given a gift, a moment of trust from a world that exists just beyond the veil of our own. Sharing it would be a betrayal. From that day on, Ranger Elias Vance patrolled his woods with a new sense of purpose. He became the silent guardian not just of the trees and the known animals, but of the forest's deepest secrets. He would occasionally find small, strange gifts left for him on the trail's a perfectly woven crown of flowers. A unique, polished stone, a collection of rare bird feathers. He never saw them again, but he knew they were there, watching. And every time he passed that northern boundary, he would touch the brim of his hat. A silent greeting to the mysterious family he now protected. His shocking move wasn't to call for backup, but to choose compassion and become a keeper of secrets, ensuring that the magic of the redwood forest remained wild and free. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories.